Off. Boy, oh boy, already we're screwed up. Hey, everybody, welcome into a very special edition of what is normally what? I'm Pugs Moran. I do high noon every Monday through Friday at noon. That's hot topics, current events, trends, that kind of thing. Get y'all caught up on everything that you need to know. And then I also do something called Pugs and Parker. Pugs and Parker is on every Monday through Thursday evenings at 9 o'clock. But from time to time, when there are interesting things going on, we like to jump in. Hold on, let me see if I can get this right. We like to jump in. There we go. Couldn't hear myself. We like to jump in with a very special show. And today is a very special show because, we love the TV stuff here on, what is this? This is really sort of a whole Radio Misfits thing. So let's bring in Ed. I don't know where Ed is. Oh, where's Ed? Okay. I thought I had Ed. There's Ed. Ed has a black screen. Anyway, I don't know where Parker is either. People just lollygagging around. Oh, hold on. We gotta call Parker. He's supposed to be here. He's not here. It's very upsetting. Now I gotta find his phone number. All right, we'll get to the whole succession thing. I promise we will. Just got to make sure I got to line up all my people. I don't know where they are. All right, you know what? We're gonna minimize Ed. We're gonna minimize Ed until. I'm using a new computer for the first time, so everything is different. Like, oh man, what?
We didn't watch Succession.
Oh, jeez. Well, then he can't. He didn't watch. He forgot to watch. This is what I'm dealing with. And now I got Ed. I got Ed over. I don't know where Ed is. You know what? I'm just going to leave Ed there. Ed can pop in whenever the hell Ed damn well pleases. I'm still trying to get used to this new computer layout. Everything's different. It's all squashed together more. All right. Well, as you may or may not know, and if you listen to the noon show, you know that I am a big fan of the HBO series. Oh, sorry. What is it now? Max? We got to call it Max. It was HBO. Then it was HBO Max. Then it was, now it's just Max, which is confusing. No, Ed, I can't hear you. I can't hear. No, Ed's like, you can't hear me. And I'm like, nope. We are, part of the reason that I wanted to do this tonight is because you know that we've been having some computer issues over the last couple of weeks, and we've gotten that all straightened out, and now we've got new equipment and we haven't used it yet. So before we jump into a regular week of scheduled streams, the high noon show, Monday through Friday at noon, and then the Pugs and Parker with Key and E show every Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Before we do that, we wanted to make sure everything was working. So yeah, so this is obviously not working. I wonder why. Hold on, let me. Yeah. Just bear with us for a second, folks. We're gonna get into the whole breakdown. I promise. Yeah, everything seems to be right on my end, but no, Ed cannot connect. Maybe we should call Ed and ask him. He's gonna be mad at me though. Like I didn't do nothing. He's like. Hi. Don't be mad at me.
I'm not mad at you. I just don't understand why you can't hear me.
I don't know. How come you're not on camera? I mean, I've got you. I'm split screen with you.
I have the camera turned off. I don't enjoy being on camera.
Well, that's
my avatar.
That's understandable. I'm actually with you on that. I wish I could do the same.
Do me a favor though?
Yeah.
On your machine?
Mm-hmm.
Mirror your camera because you're backwards.
What does that mean? How do I mirror my camera? Like what?
Click on the gear icon.
Okay. That I can
right
do.
There it should say mirror camera. Just flip that on or off.
Where it says video?
Yeah.
Okay, so I click on video, mirror camera. Is that right?
There you go.
That ain't right. Is that really right?
Yes. Yeah. Now it's wrong.
Well, why is this wrong? What if I like this?
Because everything behind you can't be read. It's the mirror image. There you go.
But everything behind me can't be read. Okay, it wasn't centered. All right, there we go. So why can't we hear you? What's going on?
It could be because I just ram this thing together in the last 5 minutes.
All right. Well, look.
Because I started late and I ended like right before 10, and I am so fucking annoyed with the way it ended. I can't even.
Okay, so let's get into it.
scream.
I'll tell you what. Let's get into it. We'll just, if you do it on the phone, if you're cool with that. I just minimized you. Okay, good. Me too. This is the way I.
The same thing.
Feel very comfortable doing it this way. All right. So Succession ended. What was it? Season 4? Was season 4? Season 4? How many seasons was it?
4.
Season 4. Okay, so 40 episodes, 10 episodes per season. I've got a lot to say. I took some voracious notes during the hour and 20 some odd minute presentation earlier this evening on HBO. But go ahead, Ed. The floor is yours. Let me hear it.
I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Right down to the last bit at the end where Tom gave his last little, "You are my servant. I'm putting a dot in the middle of your forehead."
Yeah.
Thing right there, and that was, oh man. But Shiv, dude, how fucked up was that?
Well, first of all, okay, so let me ask you this. Did you have a problem with the way it turned out? The man sitting on the throne?
I did not.
You did not. I didn't either. In fact, it was what I was hoping for. It is what I predicted on Friday.
Well,
it is what
we had talked about it. I said to you a week ago, I bet you none of them get
it. Yes, none of them, meaning the kids. And,
right.
and here's something that I'd sort of always known about Succession, and maybe about Jesse Armstrong, who wrote and created the show. But man, was it driven home in this final episode. It was really driven home in the final 2 episodes. And that is that Succession from its very first episode was just an ongoing, relentless indictment of the Nepo class.
That's right. And Jeff Ballard's right. Shiv always overplayed her hand.
Shiv always thought she was smarter than she
Going
actually
back
was.
to season 1, episode 1.
Yeah. She's a pain in the ass. And we never saw a moment where these children were even remotely likable, even when we had empathy for them, whether it was Kendall and all of his issues or Shiv and her problems with Tom. Even when we had empathy, it was more pity than sincere, oh, I hope it gets better. All I can tell you is that the last episode, and this is before anybody else is talking about it. So I wanted to do this show right away because I wanted to go on record, and I didn't want anyone to say, oh, you're influenced by what people are saying on the morning shows and all that stuff. That was a fucking amazing episode. I thought that was perfect the way it ended. They gave it to the only guy who deserved it. And I'm sorry, Tom was an a-hole. And look, Tom is not a good.
He was. But you are a-hole.
He was the everyman's a-hole. He's really the reason that I say the final episode really sort of hammered down that nail that this Nepo class, this inheritance class, is just a bunch of friggin' inbred monarchs from the 15th century. None of them deserve what they have. They aren't built for it. The dad was built for it. The dad came from nothing. These kids never had to struggle. I love that it was Tom, the Midwestern okey-doke guy who learned how to play the game. Tom went all in, and he came out on top. And that sort of the whole message of it. You can think.
And here's the thing. Did she do it because she's pregnant and Tom's her husband? And do they or do they not get divorced? That's aside from what I'm thinking about right now. But did she do it because she always likes to see herself closest to the brass ring?
Well, okay. So this is very interesting because we're talking about the big spoil.
It's very much like King Lear. I don't know if you ever watched or read Shakespeare. But
well, she mentioned her fears that it would become Macbeth too. Which, so yes, the whole thing was very, very Shakespearean. So here's what I think about her and Tom. And Shiv changing. Look, I'm not worried about spoilers because we're going live. This is for people who just watched it. Okay, so spoiler alert, right? Shiv at the very last moment changed her vote. She had some sort of conscience crisis or whatever it was.
I mean, it really was the last vote.
Yeah, it was the last vote.
It was 6-6, and they came to her, and she did a freak out and left the room.
So why did she do it? Now she gave the reason that she didn't believe that Kendall was made for it, right? She didn't think she could. Now that's bullshit. That's not the real reason. What I think it was, and you might be onto something too with proximity to the throne. She may have just recognized at that point that Tom was going to be the guy, and that maybe the power dynamic in her and Tom's relationship had shifted mightily with this latest thing. But she was still about to give birth to his son. So, there's, however, what I think it is, and I this is why I see it as much more petty. I see it as Shiv, for the one and only time in her life, having the ultimate power and just using it.
And just totally screwed her big brother.
Yeah. Yeah. All the resentment, all the years of one day I'm going to get him. And now here she was. She knew it was lost. She knew she didn't want, you know what I mean? That's what I think it was. I think it was her realizing in that moment when it came to her and she was the last vote and she would have tipped it in favor of Kendall and Roman and her. She realized that for the one time in her life, she had all the power. And that's
right.
And also we saw,
before it scrolls off the screen, I want to agree with Jeff Ballard again that I was pretty news that Roman got himself beat up after the funeral.
Yeah,
he ran into the protesters.
Yeah, there was a good 2 episodes where they went out of their way to sort of telegraph that Roman was not cut out for this. That Roman was weak. Roman is an emotional tinderbox, and Roman is problematic. I mean, even with Kendall's dead body, I'd still be more afraid of Roman. Yeah. What Roman could possibly end up doing. He's just a bad guy. I had some observations that I thought we could go through. That the first one was Lucas Matson, who was the I don't know if he's Predator, the guy who was coming in to try and buy the company. It became very obvious to me. I had sort of had this feeling, Ed. You tell me if you have it too, from the last few episodes. But this episode tonight really drove it home to me that although he ultimately ended up winning, Lucas was just fucking with all the Roys. He just,
absolutely,
like a kitten with a ball of yarn. He hated them for some reason.
Because they were spoiled little rich kids.
Yeah, but he's like a terrible person too. But he didn't come from that though, right? I mean, he's sort of a self-made man, so right. he looks down
his company from scratch.
And I think this was decided like last season when Logan and Roman came and visited him. Remember on the boat, they left wherever they were and they came and they visited Matson on his private island or wherever it was. And I think it was in that moment that it seemed like Lucas Matson just decided that he friggin' hated Logan Roy and what he represented as old.
That's where the whole thing flipped from them buying him,
right,
to Gojo buying them,
right. And that's where I think it started. And I think that it was, I don't even know that he necessarily wanted to win. I guess at the end it became apparent that he wanted to win, but really I think it was all about torturing the Logan kids for him.
Held a subplot.
Okay, so the other thing, Lady Caroline. Okay, it's always a great episode when there are multiple scenes featuring the mother of Shiv, Kendall, and Roman, who is the Lady Caroline.
And the reckless abandon the private air travel where they just fly out of the Caribbean for a day.
Did you think about that too? I was like,
oh, yeah.
Kendall decided in a matter of 5 seconds, 5 seconds that he was going to leave the country and just get a plane and all. But of course, Lady Caroline of Collinwood is the second wife of Logan Roy. She is the mother of the primary 3 kids. Sorry, Connor, but there are primarily 3 of them. And she is like, I honestly think she might be my favorite character in the entire series. Like if they said you could build one entire episode around one character, it would be her, because she's so dry and so bitter and so angry. You know what I mean?
She's in a crazy way the most likable.
Yes, because she's an asshole and she's saying asshole things to a whole bunch of assholes that nobody ever says those things to. It's like she's indemnified among all these people, and she can just be awful to them, and it's nice because nobody's ever awful to them. Oh my God, that scene from last week where they were at Logan Roy's funeral And Lady Caroline of Collinwood comes up to Shiv when Shiv has just revealed to her brothers that she's pregnant. And there's this scene where her mother, and they don't even speak. They don't even.
Well, you can see it in their daughter's eyes.
Right, and it's like such a.
Mom knew daughter was pregnant.
And Ed, without even using words, she insults Shiv, just with her eyes and with her body language.
Then that scene cuts right into another scene where Lady Caroline goes and collects the two mistresses and grabs them and brings them to the front of the church to sit in the first row.
Oh man!
Hey, brilliant.
Let me hold on a second. You know, I was going to invite a buddy on. Here we go. Hold on. I don't know how I do this though with the phone. So maybe we could move on.
Well, I can drop. I can drop and
yeah,
no worries.
Yeah, but I
said what I needed to say.
All right, so yeah, I just wanted to check in on it. So, are you happy or are you sad about the outcome here? Are you good with this? How would you? I mean, look, years from now, people are.
Nicely for me, I have no loose ends.
Okay, good. Because see, here's the thing I'm trying to avoid. 5 years from now, when people talk about the season, I mean, will people say, "Oh, it was good," but then the finale? You know, people just say that.
Okay,
it's like,
here's what I'm going to say, and most of the people probably won't be able to identify with this. I think you will. This was not the MASH finale.
Well, what do you mean? I was never a MASH fan, so I don't necessarily remember how the public took the MASH finale.
It was one of the biggest things in the history of television. And even though I was still reasonably young when it happened, it still had a great impact on me. It's still one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen.
So it's
Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen is what it was called.
Okay, so it's a good. So it's recognized as a good. So I mean, you know, just to show where I am, I enjoyed the Sopranos finale. I enjoyed the Seinfeld finale. I enjoyed the Game of Thrones finale. I enjoyed this finale. I did. I really did.
And now, off topic, real quick. Did you watch Westworld?
I did not. I bailed on the second season. I watched the first season.
So I won't talk to you about the end of season 4, which ultimately ends up being the end of the series. But they wanted to do a season 5, but I didn't think there was a need for it because they tied it up so well at the end.
Yeah. What's the other one? What's the other one with a W that HBO did that I liked and I've been waiting forever and now it's not ever. Watchmen. Yeah, that's never coming back, right?
Yeah, probably not.
Oh man, that sucks. Yeah. All right, let me run through a couple more things, Ed, because we've got a little time if you can stick around.
Yeah.
Okay, so here was an exchange between Lady Caroline tonight and Shiv that I just thought was funny. And 5 years from now, I think I'm still going to say this is one of the best series in television history. And a lot of it has to do.
Oh, it absolutely was. I mean, the whole season 4 was amazing with the writing and acting and directing. Incredible.
I mean, when you compare it to all the other great television series, and we can just start at HBO. I mean, for me, The Sopranos is the greatest television series of all time.
One of my all-time faves.
But I don't know. Is this better? It might be. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was mind-blowing to me. Is this better? I don't know.
Now, here's a rub. Do we consider it? See, all the greats typically go 7 seasons. But in this new era of how television is made, that's really hard. So is it not as good because it didn't go 7 seasons? Do we just have that number in our head?
Yeah, I don't think so much about that anymore. I mean, especially when I consider a show like Peaky Blinders, which is, you know, up there.
British television is different on its own, but
it's 6 episodes or 7, 8 episodes per season, and they only do 3 seasons, so it's a lot smaller. So maybe it doesn't have time to jump the shark. But I don't know. I'm pretty satisfied with both. Most of the shows that I really like Succession, they hold up well in my memory. I'm trying to. You mentioned about the seasons, about how strange it is because the shows that we enjoy today, for the most part, have 10 episodes. Now, this has been a number of years.
Used to be 23.
Right, and then the original run of direct streaming shows were 13 for a couple of years, and then they cut that down to 10. Sometimes we even see 8. Miniseries seem to be 5. This seems to be the template that they're falling into. But man, I'm re-binging Friday Night Lights from the beginning, and I couldn't believe how long it took me to get through season 1 because it's 23 episodes.
Network television.
23 episodes. All right, back to Succession, which we're talking about tonight, which ended its 4-season run on Max. Want to get that right. This was a piece of writing. This is the dialogue between Shiv and her mother when they showed up today at her Caribbean, I don't know, paradise that she said was a shithole, but whatever. Lady Caroline says to Shiv, this is just an example of how great the writing is. Lady Caroline says to Shiv, "There's something about eyes that just revolt me." And Shiv deadpans to her mother, "Human eyes? You mean things we all have?" To which she says, "I just think of them as balls of jelly rolling around inside one's head." It's just
Brilliant.
it's just such a perfect thing for that character to say. Whoever wrote that line for that character, and for the daughter to just like, it was another piece of evidence to the daughter that her mother is a terrible person. When her mother said eyes revolt her, not toes. You can understand that. Eyes, the
window to the soul.
Yes, the thing you see first when you look at another human being, she finds revolting.
And not just in Shiv. Just
Anybody. They're just revolting. Humans. It's her way of saying she finds humans revolting. That's it. It was just so well written. Let's see. What else did I like? Here's something that I noticed, an observation that I had. And this isn't just off of tonight's episode, but this is something that I've noticed before. These kids, and by kids, I mean Shiv, Roman, and Kendall, they really work way too hard for their station in life. I would spend a lot more time on couches playing video games if I were them. And I know that they're maybe not accomplishing anything in every room they walk into, they're a boss. But my God, man, they're always on their way to a meeting. They're always on their way to something. They really do. For a bunch of silver spoons who are incompetent, they bustle. They go.
Indeed.
You got nothing for me there.
I got nothing.
That's all right.
I totally agree.
These are just observations from the last episode. The Greg versus Tom fight was great. So let's talk about that relationship.
I wish Greg would have fought back a little bit, but
yeah,
it was good.
I don't think Greg is capable of fighting back. I don't. Greg is a confusing character. Let's talk about his situation. Greg started out as sort of our lens. We were looking through him at this family. Greg was
as close as to the everyman as we were going to get.
Right. His job was to present this world to us. He's seeing it for the first time, and therefore so are we. And he was an innocent, and his character was everybody liked him because of that innocence. There was a gullibility to him that was exploited at every turn, especially by Tom. It was through interactions with Greg that we saw how the depths of Tom's inhumanity, but also a little bit of humanity. It was because we didn't see that from Tom from anyone else. He was nice to Greg at times, and it was like, okay. But also,
the closest that we saw Tom to being human is when he was contemplating. Remember the several episode arc where he was going to jail because he was going to fall on the sword.
Yes,
Tom. It was all about how the food sucked.
No,
that was Tom's. There's no texture. There's no flavor. So he goes to a diner to start experiencing bad food to wean his way in.
Yes, my favorite of the Tom Wamsgams is going to prison story arc is when he cornered Shiv because he was very concerned about making toilet wine. He was concerned that if he left. He had read online how to make toilet wine, and he thought that maybe he could become sort of a toilet wine expert while he's in prison. And he was concerned about leaving the cap off because he'd heard that could spoil and it would give him a tummy ache, which he was very upset about. Tom Wamsgams. That's the guy who's in charge. So his fight with Greg. Let's talk about Greg. what did you take from that? Where is Greg? Where does Greg stand tomorrow morning at 9
Well,
a.m.?
Greg's still got a job. He's wearing the dot on his head like a Indian servant,
Yeah.
and he will be subservient to Tom forever, and probably have his $200,000 salary cut to next to nothing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tom's just gonna do that just because Tom can. And Tom's a mean person. And Tom's gonna be his Mr. Burns and he's gonna be Smithers for the next. I think you're right. I think that boy. Because Greg knows where the bodies are buried.
Oh yeah.
I mean, on some level, Tom's got to keep Greg close. Because
remember when Tom took Greg to dinner to teach him how to be rich?
Yes.
The birds.
Yeah, didn't they eat ortolan?
Birds.
Yeah,
ortolan.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. All right. What else do we have? What was okay? So what was up with Kendall's weird, violent hug of Roman?
Of Roman.
Yeah.
He was trying to break the stitches open.
Yeah.
Because Roman wanted to feel the blood or something. It was weird. Because he was afraid to be near Jerry, and that was I got to rewatch it obviously, but that was a long drawn out hug for no other reason that caused the friction is to break those stitches over his eye.
I think it was Roman was having a breakdown, and his big brother came in and was like, "Don't worry, I got you." Because that's all Roman has always been taken care of. Roman has never had to bail himself. He's the baby. He's never had to bail himself on anything. So I think that was Kendall sort of coming to his rescue and saying, "It's okay, it's okay." But then at the same time, which is what the father would do, inflicting great pain with the love that he's giving him. Like love in this family comes with great pain. Oh, very weird.
As soon as he found out Jerry was going to be there, he wanted to call into the board meeting.
Yeah.
Then, well, no, you can't do that because they've seen you're here.
Yeah.
So here, I'm gonna put a big gash on your forehead. So now you've got an excuse not to be there. And then he sacked up and went anyway.
So it looks like from that regard, the people that were with Waystar Royco through all this time, the ones that still have jobs are Tom, who's been elevated to the North American president of Gojo Waystar.
Right,
CEO. They've kept Jerry. Tom made that clear. That
Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina was kept. Hugo's gone. Frank and Carl are gone.
Dead weight, they're out.
And Greg is there. And I think that's it. Yeah. No word on Kendall's assistant, Jess, who was trying to make a power move at the funeral.
Jess is gone.
I don't think. And then that's how it ends. It ends with a broken and uncertain Kendall sitting on a bench looking at the East River.
Thank God the railing was there. Otherwise, I think he just kept walking.
Right. I thought
that was going to be a long walk off a short pier.
I thought one of them wasn't going to make it. I thought one of them was. And when Kendall started saying to Shiv, make me king or I'll kill myself, which is Jesus, man. I mean, I've seen that in movies where a guy's getting dumped and he's like, if you break up with me, I'll kill myself. You know what I mean? Where they've gone there and it's so cringe. And it was so cringe in this moment too. Just, oh. Let's see. What else? What else do we have to mention? I don't know. I think that's about it. I think we agree. It was a terrific final episode. It was terrific.
One of the greatest shows in television history.
Why is it ending? Do we know?
Things end.
Yeah, but at 4 seasons, I mean, this is it's rare. It's rare that a show this popular.
I think it could have gone 5 easy.
Right.
I would love to see the aftermath of this, but only in the way that's like you can't turn away from a car wreck.
You know what I think would be great, and this is like 3 people involved here. Actually, I don't even know if Will Ferrell's involved anymore. He was originally, but he and Adam McKay aren't working together anymore. So I don't know, but I would like to see HBO, maybe not once a year, but maybe once every 18 months. I'd like to see a made for HBO movie. That'd
be something, yeah.
Yeah, just catch us up. Just show us what these assholes are doing. Just give us a little. Because the characters are great, and I don't know. I'd like to see a spin-off series with Mattson. I think that might be interesting.
Could be.
I don't know what's that. That's a Skarsgård actor, right?
Yeah,
That's
the Skarsgård guy.
it's one of those guys. He's one of my favorites. That guy's great in everything. Who's the other Skarsgård? Like their dad. There's like a dad Skarsgård, and then there's Loki from Vikings. Loki from Vikings is Matsson's brother.
Which one played Pennywise?
That might have been the Loki. I think that might, or maybe that's the dad. I don't know. At any rate, they're great, and I like the Skarsgård. I like that particular Skarsgård. Whenever he was the one that was in the Vampire HBO show, right?
Yes.
True Blood. That's where he came from. That's where we first saw him. All right, Ed, I think we're going to wrap up the Succession stream. I appreciate you, Gavin.
Be a part of it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to miss this damn show. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Ed. Bye, Ed.
Yeah.
There he goes. All right. We're gonna end the show. I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about it. I have I'm a TV geek. Parker was supposed to be with us, but he didn't show up. And then I had another friend that I wanted to come by, and they didn't show up. People are like, well, I didn't get to watch it on time. It's Memorial Day weekend. Okay, I understand that. Probably not going to be a high noon show tomorrow. Sorry, guys. But we've got some tremblings about the boat and the boat party tomorrow. So it's Memorial Day. Give me a break. I love you guys, but, come on. All right, that's going to do it. I appreciate it. Anything else big happens, I'll jump on, although probably not tonight. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to watch Barry. That's right, Barry. You guys like Barry? Barry comes on after Succession. It's fantastic. It's so good. And today was the season finale of Barry. So I'm going to go watch that now. Everybody have a great weekend. Have a safe Memorial Day. And we'll gather back for certain on Tuesday at noon for the high noon stream. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.